It's Marlene again, coming to you from a different part of the kitchen. Anyway, I'm going to do something a little bit different today because I was sitting here and I was scrolling through threads and I come across a post that really sparked my memory, and I wanted to share kind of a funny story, though it wasn't funny at the time. And it was back when I was a kid. Well, I was born in New Jersey, and we moved a lot because my mom was married several times. So finally, we moved into a big house in Point Pleasant, and it was a beautiful home, and we really liked it there. It was my mom, my stepfather, me, and my three younger brothers. And we were playing one day, and my mom told us that we needed to pack because we were going on a camping trip. We were going to upstate New York to Bear Park, which is supposedly a mountain. It's Bear Mountain, and so we needed to pack a bag and be ready to go in the morning because we're going to Big Bear. Anyway, so I went in my room and I packed all my things and I gathered up all these bags and I just filled them all because I was so excited to go camping. And I took them out to the other room, and my mom saw them and she said, "You can't take all those things." She said, "We've got to fit everything in the car, so go back and put things in one bag. Whatever's important to you that you're going to think you're going to need, go ahead and put it in the bag." So I went back to my room and I took everything out, and I took one bag and I filled it with all the things that I thought were important, and I was ready to go. So the next morning we get up bright and early and we get in the car and we're heading to camp at Big Bear. And we are going down the road, and I look up and there's a sign that says Delaware. And I was like, Delaware? We're crossing the Delaware Bridge. This is away from New Jersey. This isn't even it's going the wrong way from New York. I'd been to New York a lot of times. Our class trips were usually to New York, to Madison Square Gardens, or roller skating or ice skating. Anyway, so we were going the wrong way. So then finally they told us that we were heading to Florida. So we're driving, we're sleeping in the car, we're stopping at little stores and getting lunch meat to eat, and we finally get to Florida, and we end up in Deerfield. So we're at Deerfield Beach, and my stepfather's trying all these places to try to find a place to rent. Well, we couldn't find any place, so we're driving, and we go out into the country, and we drive for miles and come across a dairy farm, and there's a whole lot of little cottages. So my stepfather goes up to the owner's house, and a woman answers, and he asks her about if any of the cottages are for rent. And she started asking about the family, and he said, "It's my wife, myself, and 4 kids." And she was not real keen on 4 kids. So he said, "Well, let me see if this will help." Well, he pulls out a wad of cash. I don't know where he got it, but he got a big wad of cash, and I kind of think that might have explained why we were leaving in the middle of the night. I never did find out. Anyway, so she rents the cottage to us, and so we go and we are putting things away, and we take our showers. And the funny thing about being way out in the country in Florida, our water that came in was swamp water, and it was black. So we had to get drinking water, which we rented those big 5-gallon jugs, and they were delivered to us, so we always had drinking water. But back to the story. So I go in my room, and I'm told to get a shower and get dressed. I go in there and I'm unpacking my things. My mom comes in and says, "Where's your clothes?" And I was like, "You said pack my most important things." And she was like, getting mad. She was really mad. And I had packed a whole bag full of paper dolls because at that time they were my favorite thing in the world and the most important to me. I would make paper dolls out of any piece of cardboard I could get. I'd cut out of the Sears catalog to make clothes for them. And so, the post that I saw asked, has anybody here ever played with paper dolls? So, of course, that got my mind going back nostalgic, which a lot of times you see something or you hear something and it brings back the nostalgia. And so, yeah, she was pretty mad and ended up we had to go back to town to get me some clothes and some underwear because I just unpacked all those things. They weren't the most important to me. And so I had clothes, and then we started school, and we had to walk at least a mile to our bus because I know the stories are always, from older people. I walked to school in the snowstorm. Well, we were in Florida, and we didn't walk to school. We walked to the bus, and it was hot. And I was the lucky one because I had dresses. We were only allowed to wear dresses at school. But my brothers had long pants because we came from New Jersey. And you weren't allowed to wear shorts to school anyway. And so we would walk to the bus in the heat. And we lived there about 2 years. And I have a lot of stories about the dairy farm that I'll share if anybody's interested. And I'm sure that you all have stories that may have got you in trouble, but ended up being funny being told over the years. Anyway, the one little post on Threads just got me on a roll, and I thought I'd share that story with you. And I hope you come back and we can share stories together. So like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time.